G'day everyone, welcome back. We are looking at Natural Selection League, Titus Gaming vs Shaft. This is Division 1, Season 6 of the NSL, and this is game number 4 if you are just joining the action. There are 3 games immediately preceding this video on the channel. We're looking at aggressive skulk ball, 5 skulks moving very quickly from Titus all the way to the other side of the map. They may be trying to give the impression that their hive is in fact on the western side of the map, and they are being met by the bullets of Bruno Sardine and 10. Accidental crappy camera work there, but 10's going to get taken out, and I'm not quite sure what this will give the aliens. It may give them a momentary marine distraction. The marines will think the hive is in sub-sector. They of course deny the close extractor, but generally it's pretty hard to keep your true hive a secret from the marines for very long, especially competitive players. And as soon as they see the sys chain in C12, the gig is going to be up, and they are going to see that very soon. Trying to get in on the action here. There's not much action to be seen at ground level, so we'll zoom back out and look at the strategic picture. The sys chain has gone into cargo. The aliens looks like they're making an attempt to take both but C12, cargo, and nano. That is extremely aggressive. Their initial resources will not support that much of a stretch. Top Marine doing a good job on the sys chain here. They will have to choose which one they commit to, I think, unless they get very fortunate with a couple of engagements and get the Marine team wiped off the map for a few seconds. It's just a tall order to expect you'd be able to take that much territory and hold it. But most of the combat appears to be happening down near cargo here, and the Marines wisely stopping cargo expansion, and that drifter is getting annihilated, so it is going to retreat, but double harvest will drop in Dando, and the aliens have used up all their resources really at this point and trying to expand so aggressively. I mean, this is serious expansion. We need to see some alien repositioning to defend Nano, defend C12 at the moment. Cargo is a lost cause. The Marines expanding down the western side of the map, as you would expect, dropping extractors along the way. They are not yet at sub-sector, but we could expect a sub-sector extractor at some point in the near future. And it looks like the aliens are going to quite handily hold nanogrid, which of course is probably going to result in a gorge tunnel back to base and then a high resource flow. Unfortunately for the Australian team, Shaft was unable to capitalize on that high resource flow in game 3. Will the situation be different in game 4 for Titus? Will they be able to capitalize? Titus had great map presence, great strategic control of the map nexus in game 2 as aliens. They may be able to replicate that now. Shaft looking to do something in cargo. They do not have phase gates yet, so it won't be able to be a phase. Extractors on the western side of the map are looking extremely vulnerable right now, so we probably need to see some good pressure from Top Marine and 10 for the Marines to maintain acceptable strategic positioning at the moment. If they can't make anything happen right now, they are going to get ganked from 3 sides. Oh my goodness, it's going to take some good shooting, and there is great shooting from 10 and Top Marine. They were outnumbered, they were outpositioned. They managed to take down 1 skulk and get another one down to 1 hit point. Now, it didn't go their way, but they should be commended on their shooting just then. They were highly accurate. They reacted quickly to an extremely bad situation. I mean, that is natural section 2 right there, isn't it? That whole engagement just then was over in about 0.7 seconds. And humans, very, very, very fast twitch reacting humans will tend to react about 200 milliseconds to something, say a skull appearing on the screen. So, I mean, there's 500 milliseconds in there to start doing that damage. And that's what Shaft did, and unfortunately it didn't go their way. They died, and they weren't able really to make anything happen here. And the flow and effect of that is now pressure on their extractors at cargo. But 10 and Top Marine are back. They're back now in nanogrid, and they actually managed to take down a Crag there, which is a nice blow to strike against this Titus team, prevent the Titus team from building up a large number of highly valuable structures inside nanogrid. Those structures are going to make it much more difficult to dislodge the Titus players in the long run, and a lurk down. That lurk, oh, I wish I'd managed to catch that in the free cam, because that lurk kind of got stuck on the wall and then fell down. Pretty awesome. The shade going down as well. This is much more aggressive pressure on Nanogrid, then executed by Shaft, then Titus managed to execute against Shaft in the previous game. So this is looking quite good for Shaft. It took until the 11-minute mark for Titus Gaming to dislodge Shaft's alien defenses from Nanogrid in the previous game. And excuse me, I am going to have to clear my throat. And I do have a mute button somewhere on my microphone, but I wasn't able to reach it in time. I apologize. My voice was once mighty. I could once cast 10 games in a row. No worries, but in my old age, I am no longer capable of doing so, and 4 games in, I am starting to feel it. There's a gorge tunnel. Interesting positioning in C12. That's an aggressively positioned gorge tunnel. And I was being a little bit premature, saying Shaft had done well to dislodge Titus. They in fact have not dislodged them, and there was no interruption of the resource flow. So what was looking like a bit of a coup for the Marine team has turned into a decent push that perhaps hasn't achieved anything more broad at the moment, forcing the aliens to spend a little bit of res rebuilding the high-value structures, the shade and the crag. That is good, not decisive. The Marines probably didn't spend too many resources on the engagement either, and we could theory craft about that engagement for the next 5 years, but Bonage might actually have the opportunity to take down the gorge tunnel. He does, and that is a good blow. He's having a few med packs used on him there, and he might have taken down Ramp, but she was successful. He didn't even use up a shotgun or anything on that attack, so that's a nice little blow to strike, and it's going to require some gorge resource investment to get that going again. I'm feeling better about Shaft at the start of this game than I have felt about them in any other game. I think at this stage, after the preceding 3 matches, it's safe to say that Titus is the stronger team today. They do, of course, have the ping advantage as well, but I think that Shaft are mature enough that they're not going to go around screaming about pings with these losses, and they're probably going to acknowledge that Titus has played very well. But in this game, Shaft looks to be holding a little bit more territory, applying that they are taking the fight to the aliens. They are fighting on their terms. We know a little about their. But I thought the metabolize started that came up on the screen just then was actually a lurk dying, and that would have been a great blow for Shaft because oh my goodness, Zephram came incredibly close just then. A double lurk down would have been great for Shaft, and I think it would have been a real expression of what I'm talking about right now, and it would have made the alien lifeform composition a little bit top heavy. Would have had Gorgeous as the fade and nothing really to back him up. So at the moment we have Rantology saving, possibly for a double fade, possibly for an Onos. We have seen Titus try to bring the Onos onto the field in game number 2. We didn't see that Onos go anywhere. I'm a little bit worried right now about this cargo situation. The aliens have a cargo harvester, and they may have a cargo hive soon. The Marines cannot allow that to happen. Otherwise, the fight will start to occur exclusively in waypointing, in system waypointing, and that will be bad for the Marine team. I mean, one of the great strengths of Shaft during the earlier stages of this game, back around the 6-minute mark, was they were fighting on the aliens' turf. They were dictating when and where the engagements happen, and the aliens are now dictating when and where the engagements happen. Holding system waypointing with a phase might have been okay, but that's not going to happen either. The phase has been recycled. There is a new phase in East Junction, and this is a committal to an attack on Nano Grid. This phase does not give a lot of territory control. It does allow slightly faster access to C12, but C12 is in the opposite direction to the center of gravity of this fight right now, which is definitely cargo and Nano Grid. They are the crucial points. I mean, unless of course you can land some amazing blow on the start hive over in pipeline, but I don't think that's going to be what we'll see. And now Top Marine's on his own here. You know, 10's come through to support him. We need to see that. Any loss of that phase gate would be a really big blow. And what we see right now is a cutoff of the sys chain, which is good, but the hive is going up, and this is what is dangerous. Now, Inter and Bonage need to make something happen here. They need to kill something. They need to put damage inside. They need to do something. They've got 2 shotguns. These are expensive. Marines' investments have been made in them, and Bonage actually starting to complain a little bit. perhaps feeling the pressure of the ping or perhaps the pressure of the losses. This is a live stream match. It's live streamed on twitch.tv/naturalselection2. They probably don't care or don't know that I'm even recording the game, but the pressure of being live on stream can get to players and they can feel like they start to need to explain themselves if they're losing. Shaft's got nothing to explain here. They are good players and they are playing well. Titus is simply outplaying them. The strategic decisions being made by Shaft are sound. They are definitely losing more engagements than they are winning. And if we bring up the kill death ratios, you'll be able to see that, yes, we are seeing strong kill death ratios on the team. Are we actually? I might be talking poop. Rantology is looking very good. I'm not sure about the rest of the team. I might be talking poop. I have been known to do that 99% of the time. But the point I was trying to get at was that Shaft definitely don't have to explain themselves here. They may be suffering a little bit because of this pain, but now here's the arc play that we saw from Titus in the previous game. Is a very common engagement. Nano grid being arced from East Junction. And we'll zoom right out here so we can see how this battle plays out. This is where the fight is. There's also a little bit of pressure happening on extractors to the northwest, sorry, the northeast, and Hive to the southwest. But this is the fight. We're going to leave the camera right now because it is crucial. And now that that fight is over, it looks like that Harvester is going to go down. We'll return to the Hive, where Inter actually was extremely crucial. I mean, my goodness, the Hive down to 8% because the clever ones amongst you would have seen that in the lower right of the screen. I missed that. I probably would have switched the camera earlier if I'd seen that. So that's pretty intense. And what that's done, though, is not so much damage to the Hive. That's not so important as what has happened in Nano Grid. So that Hive attack has allowed the Ark and the Marines to just decimate Nano Grid. And what I like as well about Shaft's play here is they've only used one Ark. And that's a much lower resource investment. Arcs tend to be very fragile, they tend to die, they're very slow, they're hard to reposition. Aliens will tend to catch them en route between locations, and that's not going to be such an issue for Shaft because they've only invested one Arc. And in fact, what is going on with that phase gate? It looked like that phase gate was down for a moment, unpowered perhaps, but it is not. It was just a graphical glitch, either with my eyes or with the game. I tell you what, guys, for a 3-year-old game, I mean, it's a little bit older if you really count its kind of pre-launch phase. It's still a great-looking game. I think it's very dependent on the map. Some maps make Natural Selection 2 look amazing, and that's really crucial. A lot of Natural Selection 2's graphics are highly dependent on mappers and their placement of sometimes thousands of lights in a map. And Veil just looks fantastic. I think Biodome looks fantastic. There's been some community development team work on a map called Derelict, which is a destroyed version of Biodome, and that's really fantastic. That's looking great. So it can just be a fantastic looking game, and that's what you get when you've got a decent lighting engine, great mappers, and high detailed models, some good shadow procedures. It's good. It's just a good looking game. So it is highly dependent on lighting, but that is enough to talk about that. Let's get back to the game, and I've really distracted myself here. The Marines, right now, their ace in the hole is the fact that they control Nano Grid, and that will allow them to hold 2 extractors for the price of 1. However, the alien resource load right now is very high. 4 harvesters with a 5th going up. Fade Rantology died. I wish I had seen that fight. It's hard to just jump around between every engagement like this, because if I do that, the camera can get, I think it can get very confusing, and it's sometimes better to just pick a fight and watch it, even if there's another fight going on somewhere else. Move the camera to follow that fight. But hey, give me the feedback in the comments, guys. You know, maybe I should jump around here to here, see what's going on. But I do like to hold a steadier camera where possible, and of course you can watch the minimap. That's the crucial thing. Is usually when I'm casting these games, I'm just watching the minimap non-stop, and I'm just clicking the minimap where I perceive the center of gravity strategically to be, wherever the fight is happening. And right now that is definitely a Nano Grid where the Marines are holding off these aliens, and I can't see the aliens capitalizing on Nano Grid pressure anywhere else, so it really was just let's attack Nano Grid. It wasn't let's attack Nano Grid and then bait and switch and go somewhere else. But there's not really anywhere else to go, really. Nano Grid really is it for the Marine team at the moment. And that's what I mean about the alien harvester situation. It's very strong. There's a very good infestation spread. If I was casting StarCraft, I'd say creep spread is very, very good at the moment. We might have a battle shaping up in subsection. We've got some alien repositioning happening south of nano grids. One Marine down, not sure where this is going to go. But you can sense there's an alien death ball here that is angling just for a couple of kills. It's basically what's going on. And there's a couple of weapons on the floor. A shotgun, that's very valuable. And that is down. But that's in a position where you might be able to recover it. It's not inconceivable. But now the Marines have lost, they've lost control of nano grid. Whether they've actually lost it completely remains to be seen. But that'll be a big blow. Perhaps they overextended in trying to take system waypointing. This might simply be an expression of Titus's overall, perhaps their skill premium over Titus and as the lurk goes down there, over Shaft in general, is that when Shaft attempted to expand off the nano grid base and take system waypointing, they weren't able to hold both. And that might be because of a slight skill premium in Titus's play today. That might not be every day, it might just be today. Of course, there's the ping to think about as well. But the net result of all this is that Shaft was unable to consolidate system waypointing. System waypointing is a deadly room to control. It would effectively mean that the subsector and overlook extractors were completely safe, and it could serve as a jumping off point to cargo, or it could just be defensive and allow jumping off from nano grid to cargo. But the latter being a much greater distance. So there's a couple of life forms going down. We've seen a Fade go down. We've seen another lurk going down. I mean, that's at least 3 lurks. You guys have a better memory than me of this, but I feel that the Titus life form composition has been compromised quite a bit. We won't be seeing an Onos. Well, I guess Sicknick could potentially Onos. He's got a good resource position, but it's definitely not going to. We're definitely not in a situation where the aliens have held really strong life form composition, but they do have so many resource nodes. They have held so many resource nodes. I mean, they're at 3 right now, which is kind of reasonable. The Marines chugging down the res on 6 right now. That they have been able to maintain life forms despite the losses because of those resources. And 6 extractors, if the Marines can hold this for, say, 120 seconds, they are going to start buying the farm. Fade Gorgeous has died! My goodness! Okay. Another life form down. And I feel like Shaft will be feeling quite confident. They now have the system waypointing phase. Sicknick trying to get behind, do some damage there, probably realizing they need to take down some extractors. There's also extractor pressure happening up in Skylights. Engagement shaping up in Y Junction, possibly. Ken has a rifle, another shotgun. It won't be decisive for this lurk, but weapons level 2 is on the way. That'll significantly improve the rifle's ability to engage the high-level life forms, especially the Fade. I mean, there's Fades and Lurks have gone down to level 1, shotguns and rifles, ladies and gentlemen, so Shaft is clearly fighting hard here. They are fighting hard, and they've now maintained those resources for 60 seconds. 60 seconds with 6 extractors. The aliens with 3 harvesters but 2 hives. But only 1 Fade on the field, 1 lurk, so not an overwhelming life form composition at the moment. There's fights happening, system waypointing and in C12. So there's pressure going down to the cargo hive and pressure on Nano simultaneously. Let's take a look at the cargo hive. No, those Marines are retreating to protect Nano. I think they were thinking whatever pressure they were about to apply to cargo wasn't going to be worth the loss of Nano grid, so they have pulled back. Now we'll see where the fight happens. The long cargo corridor can be advantageous to Marines. Good use of Bone Shield there to prevent the Marines from being able to move freely and use the line of sight of this corridor. Again, I thought the metabolizer research was another lurk dying. Amazing how the human brain works. We just see patterns, ladies and gentlemen. We can be tricked so easily. I've noticed when zooming out very far, G Natural Selection 2 looks good. The models just look fantastic when they're really zoomed out. They've got that kind of slightly pixelated look, which is just beautiful. I love that in games. I mean, it still looks really close up, but I love that little pixelated look. Makes me want to get and make a real-time strategy mod or something, but I'm not going to do that because I spend all of my time working on Sonic, which is good fun. Weapons 3 research has started, and I did miss the Onos pop. The Onos in the field. Onos is going to have some trouble against the level 3 weapons. I expect level 3 rifles can tear into an Onos. How much biomass has this alien team got? Could factor into that though. 2 hives, you have good biomass, you have good health on the Onos. But this Onos looks like it's going to last a little bit longer than the Flash Onos we had from Titus Gaming in Game 2. And the Onos is going to be decisive in taking down Nana Grid. But the benefits of holding those 6 extractors for so long have flowed to the Marine team in the form of the research pipe. You can see weapons level 3, the shotgun, and there's the Onos going down just to the level 2 weapons. So this game is not over yet. And I said that Onos was going to be decisive in taking down a grid. I am just plain wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but I mean, of course you guys know that. I am most often wrong, and my most important function here is not with my voice, but in just bringing you guys the match. And you'll all be able to be looking at the mini-map and making your own judgments about where this match is going, who's winning, who's losing, etc. More pressure on Nana Grid. Heavy machine gun research started. I haven't seen those in action yet. I'm quite excited to see it. Will the aliens be able to consolidate here in Nana Grid? You can see they've left. The rest of them have left. There's an engagement going on in West Junction, while the aliens just have 2 skulks supported by the frenzy from the Drifter to just take down the extractors as fast as possible. Now, what I'm interested to see now is whether the huge resource boom that the Marine team has undergone will now translate into a wave across the map using higher tech. They've got a fairly good personal resource situation. We're going to be able to see heavy machine guns from at least 3 of them, and perhaps that tech will be decisive in rolling back across the map. So they've ebbed a little bit now, but we could see them flow again because of the delayed reaction between the collection of all those resources and the tech. These shotguns, level 3 in the dark and system waypointing. Bernage again complaining about the ping. He's saying he sees the blood, but you can't see dead aliens. And that may well be true, it may not be true, but he clearly feels like he's playing better than the results of the match suggests. And that's, of course, his prerogative. I believe I heard a weapon that did not sound like a rifle just then. No, it was a rifle. But there we go, it's sharp 10. I wish I could switch to first person. Fade G has died. I think that was the heavy machine gun. There's a few sound issues with them. You can hear the reloads are way too loud. But that is kind of an expression of what I was talking about just 30 seconds ago, is are these weapons going to be definitive in pushing across the map again? And I think that those heavy machine guns actually are making a big difference in this fight. Look at the frenzy on those skulks. The frenzy wore off just at the wrong moment. Lots of grenades going off and heavy machine gun kills. This is a really important fight right now, and I'm sort of desperately just trying to hold the camera still so you guys could see it. But that was a really important fight, and it's kind of what I expected, or at least hoped for from Shaft, was that the investment would pay off in time, and it has, and they are pushing back across the map. The aliens now only have 1 fate on the field. The Marines, on the other hand, have strong weapon composition, 2 heavy machine guns, multiple welders on the field, and a grenade launcher. There's only 1 rifle Marine on the field at the moment. That's a strong weapon composition. Going to be hard for Skulks alone to crack. They are going to need another rifle. To do that, they're going to need more resources. They have... Gorgeous is probably the trump card there. He may be able to go Onos. He can certainly go Fade. But there's not a lot of resources in the rest of the enemy team. If the Marines can maintain these weapons, if they can hold these weapons and not get into a situation, say, push down into cargo and all get killed here, and for those weapons to be unrecoverable, then We could see Shaft doing pretty well here. This is now the longest, it's going to be the longest game of the series soon. Match number 2, match number 1 had a pause in it, which lasted, I think, about 3 minutes, and that went to 30 minutes, so it was a 27-minute game. So another 2 minutes, this will be the longest match in the series, and I think it's got all the potential to go there. The aliens certainly aren't going to give up right now. They've had good positioning throughout the game, pretty good positioning. They've certainly never been dominated, so just because these Marines are back with strong weapons, there's 2 fights we can watch here, both involving heavy machine guns, I think. Oh, one of those weapons just went down the... Sorry, I shouldn't have zoomed in there. I know I just messed up your view of those fights. Top Marine may be able to come back and keep one of those weapons alive, but he's ambushed by Rantology. He does have one of those heavy machine guns. This is what we've got to watch whether or not these weapons are recovered. Bonage has recovered one of them. Shaft 10 needs to recover the other one. It's sitting right there. He needs to recover that. It looks like he is going to do so. Yes, all right, that is important. Bone Shield has been completed. I think we will see an Onos in the form of Gorgeous. We could see the Commander buy the egg. No, we can't, because we only got 23 res on the team res count for the aliens right now, and this is feels like a close match right now. This is certainly the most excited I've been in all of this 4-game series, because these 2 teams are hammering at each other right now, and the Marines are in a fairly good position. It's not great, but certainly want to be cutting off the subsector harvester before I counted my chicks there. Otherwise, I'd be definitely counting them before they hatched. Bruno Sardine caught. I believe there are heavy machine guns in this mix, and they are going to go down. They are. Gorgeous has, in fact, gone Onos, and there are several expensive weapons down. We've got a grenade launcher and the heavy machine gun lost in their personal resource situation. Probably will allow the Marines to recover here, but this is an intense battle. Good, there is pressure in subsector. This is what we need to see. Top Marines taking care of that. They probably don't have to worry too much about topographical, but now can the Marines push down into cargo, or are we going to see the aliens push into Nano, or perhaps push into subsector and take the hive? And just as I say that, that is what in fact they have done. And if they can hold system waypointing where they have good sys coverage and a faded position right now, then this is probably going to swing towards being an alien game, because even these level 3 strong weapons are not going to be able to stop a 3-hive biomass alien team from rolling over the map. They will have at least 4 harvesters. I think it's not too much to expect them to build a whole C12 on 3 hives, or perhaps even Overlook. So how this plays out in system waypointing is very crucial. Can they get a phase gate down in here? That will allow them to do serious damage to subsector. Gorgeous positioning himself. He knows he's not invincible. He's got 1,000 health, but he's also a very big target. He needs to move with his friends. He has moved with his friends, and he's gone in and taken Bruno. Shaft 10 is the only sharp player left. Sorry, Top Marine is now the only player left. He is on his own. He's trying to recover weapons and at least run them out of the room a little bit. He was probably trying to get underneath the platform there. He was unsuccessful. If the Marines sprint down here for the weapons, they could recover them, and I can't stress how important it is that they recover these weapons. They can't just continue to buy weapons from the armory. They need to recover weapons in the field to be able to maintain a good kill-death ratio, maintain the winningness of fights against these Marines. The Onos has been tied up. Oh, there's the Bone Shield, which is great against the heavy machine gun. Just allows the Onos to hold positions for a moment. Not good though if the Onos can be flanked. You don't want to be bone shielding and then have a bunch of Marines get up behind you. That is going to be a nasty situation for you as that big alien. How much do you reckon an Onos weighs? I don't know. I know I'm missing a fight here, but let's just take a look at this Onos running around, because we don't get to see it all that often. He is charging into the Nano Grid battle where he's going to do serious damage to the phase gate. I believe that phase gate was the recycle was started perhaps. And the Marines now have the system waypointing phase up, but they aren't able to hold both. And that's what they need to do here to be in a winning position, is hold both system waypointing and Nano Grid. And they have been unable to do that. So I'm concerned for the Marine team right now. They may be able to recover Nano now. Gorgeous is on, he's lost a little bit of armor, a little bit of health. There's the bone shield. He's got G for back. I'm trying to keep an eye on both battles here, nano grid and system waypointing, because it is these two areas that are crucial. If the aliens can hold system waypointing, I think they're going to win this game. If the Marines can hold system waypointing and nano grid, then I think they're going to win this game, or at least have a strong chance. I do get the sense that this game is rolling in an alien direction. The third hive has been up for a good minute or two now. This is the longest match of the 4-match series now, for sure. And it's definitely the closest, I think. Shaft, very good players. This is Division 1 Natural Selection 2 League. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not get to Division 1 NSL as a crap team, and Shaft is definitely by no means a crap team. They're a very good team. They've restored the power. The resource flow is going to be good. We have pressure up in the Marine base right now. Cryptic on very low health. He needs to be very careful out of the stair. No, his mates are back. He's going to be okay, but that was the arms lab, ladies and gentlemen, has gone down, and that is very bad news for the Marine team, because their critical advantage in these fights has been the level 3 weapons. They now do not have those level 3 weapons. It's inconceivable. I think they can retake in the short term. There's the GG. With the loss of the weapons, they knew the writing was on the wall, but a very close game, very well played to Shaft, of course, very well played to Titus Gaming. Titus Gaming, of course, have a special place in my heart. They were the runners-up in the Natural Selection 2 World Championship in 2014. And these are the stats, and I will quickly scan through them in case we have a quick map change to see the screenshot them if you want to. But now let's just take a look at them more slowly. And nothing really leaps out at me. Shaft actually had very impressive accuracy. I know they were complaining about the pings and about the bullets not landing, but in all honesty, that is very good accuracy. It's better accuracy than we saw out of Titus in the previous game, and I don't think we can attribute the loss to ping. I don't think that's reasonable, but it is, of course, Shaft's prerogative to complain about the ping, and rightly so, because it is definitely a disadvantage. It's just not everything. So not much to glean there. In terms of the tech log, as I said in game 1, my lack of familiarity with NS2 and comp mod and all the other mods that the server is running means that I can't really give much decent analysis of the tech tree. But I'm sure in the comments there'll be someone making great analysis. So head down in the comments and I'm sure you'll see something there. Resource tower graph. This section, after the 15-minute mark, you guys heard me talking about it ad nauseum during the game. This was the section where I thought, oh yeah, this could be really good for the Marine team. They built up, and they had that moment after the 20-minute mark where they had those strong weapons. Well, it was sort of the 18-minute mark, but then the loss of territory, the loss of weapons, and eventually the aliens have peeled away. You can see they started to peel away in kills towards the end. So that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That was the 4-game series. Very enjoyable series. I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I look forward to seeing you soon for more NS2HD videos.